I probably would disappear for a year. You know, and then prior to that, I'll have one big party. I would invite my family members and some of my closest friends.
Quit my job.
I'll first buy a plane, and then after that, I'll buy an airport. I got plans. I got visions. I got a whole bunch of stuff.
I like it. These guys have got a plan, and maybe they won tonight. A lot of ideas about how to spend that Mega Millions jackpot. It's more than $1 billion. I think about 1.2 at last check. No winner announced just yet for tonight's drawing. I already checked my tickets, not me. All right, but I would still stay here and work anyway because I love it. All right. Say you are the lucky winner. Can you collect your cash and stay anonymous? And it turns out it depends on where you live. Some states say yes, some say no. Let's bring in our legal eagles for tonight's Is It Legal debate. Washington Times legal affairs reporter, attorney Alex Sawyer, and Genco Legal founder and managing partner Brian Rotella. Great to have you both back with us.
Hey, Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
Okay, so this is what they say in Forbes. The piece there says this is what to do if you win the $1 billion jackpot. Well, it's important to sign your lottery ticket. You should first determine which name to place on the lottery ticket. Consult a trust and a state's attorney to determine how to accept your lottery prize. For example, in a minority of U.S. states, including but not limited to Delaware, Kansas, Maryland, North Dakota, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, and others, you can remain anonymous when you claim a lottery prize. And Alex, we were talking about this during the break. We weren't sure about Maryland, but it sounds like that's one of the ones where you can win the money and you don't have to tell anyone.
That's true. And I think we were also talking about Virginia. And Virginia's law, I think you have to win a certain amount to stay anonymous. So you definitely want to check out where you bought the ticket. It's not necessarily where you reside, but where you purchased the ticket. And of course, you mentioned the trust. That's one way to stay anonymous. It does seem like there's a growing concern. I was looking back about 3 years ago to the number of states that had laws protecting lottery winners, and I saw it was about 9 states. Recent reports show it was 18. So there does seem to be a concern about the safety for winners. There's stories about people having been scammed. Of course, there's even incidents of murders. There was one Georgia man who had I think it was 7 masked robbers enter his house and rob him, and then of course he ended up killed too. So there is a security concern. You become a target and an overnight celebrity for those greedy family members, friends, and of course strangers.
That's true. Okay, so Brian, what is the other side of this? Because, you know, you hear the argument from states and from government entities, like they have an interest in telling the story and everybody seeing the face and the name, so people will buy more tickets. What's the argument on the other side?
Well, truthfully, Shannon, I'm a really private guy. Like in the evening, if the Amazon person comes, I'm looking at the Ring doorbell like 6 times. So I would not want my information out there. But I do understand the reason. Let's just say a certain president's son from Delaware won the lottery. That might be something that people would want to know. We want to make sure that the system is not being gamed, that someone is not in one way or another taking advantage of the lottery. So I understand why it would be public, and for to agree with my legal colleague here, Alex, there are steps you can take. I do think it's a little bit crazy, though. Do we have to do a speed date with an estate lawyer to get a blind trust to keep our information confidential? That seems pretty crazy.
Well, I love how the last few nights, I mean, we've sat around and talked with our friends at dinner about like what we would actually do and how we would figure out which attorney to hire and stuff, as if this is ever going to happen. I think the odds are more than 1 in 300 million. We do have this story out of Michigan, though, that there was a group there. They registered as a lottery club, and then just one person from the club had to come forward and accept the prize. So it sounds like, Alex, if you get creative, there are ways to do this. A final word to you, and then quickly to Brian, too.
Yes, of course, and there could be a group that creates a trust together, like you mentioned. And I have to say, I'm in the same boat. My husband and I had a plan if we won, and I just texted him. I was like, "Look at our numbers," and he's like, "I said, did we win?" He's like, "Of course not," you know. So it's just one of those things. But yeah, maybe there's strength in numbers, like you mentioned.
Yeah. All right, 10 seconds, Brian.
Be really. Do not sign your name to it, because if you sign your name, you might not be able to put it into a trust. So don't sign the back of the name of the lottery ticket. Little free piece of advice.
All right, Brian and Alex, thank you. And if you won, tweet us and let us know. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Shannon.
All right, some good news.